Location pooling, pros, cons, and alternatives. So, of course, the advantage of location pooling is that it reduces demand uncertainty, which in turn allows for reducing inventory or increasing service or a combination of both of those. The disadvantage is that it moves inventory away from customers. So it creates some inconvenience for the sales representatives who have to satisfy the demand when they have to pick up units from that inventory. It also may create a cost to ship products to customers from this pooled inventory. However, notice that there could be a flip side, so it could actually be a pro, that it may, right, this is the point, it may actually reduce the inbound transportation cost to that territory, pooled inventory for territories, because there could be some consolidation here. So larger quantities, there could be smaller cost per unit. So some alternatives that we could consider is virtual pooling. Virtual pooling is that when each sales representative keeps his own or her own inventory, but shares with the nearby sales reps when needed. And that actually could give you all the benefits without costs. This is just requiring some kind of information sharing or information systems that helps them work together, those sales reps, right? So the idea is each sales rep still keeps an inventory on their own. Maybe now they have less inventory each because they know in case they have a shortage, they can call on a few neighbors, right, nearby territories, sales reps, and ask them for the unit. And it's very likely that all of them will not experience a shortage at the same time because this would work, right? The virtual pooling would have worked is in a similar way as the pooled inventory from that perspective. Another idea is drop shipping. Drop shipping just keeps no inventory in territories or in local locations and just display units perhaps, and then ships directly from a warehouse or directly from a manufacturer. Of course, this has other disadvantages, but it can also provide an equivalent of location pooling. Of course, extreme case of location pooling is the e-commerce model, right? In the e-commerce, we basically keep inventory in very few locations, maybe even in one location, and deliver from that, right? Of course, that lowers the inventory necessary to serve the demand tremendously, and allows, because of that, turning inventory much faster if you can maintain similar level of sales. However, there are disadvantages, right? Positioning inventory in a warehouse rather than in neighborhood stores it creates additional shipping costs, right? So, for example, Amazon.com will have those costs, and they, of course, work very hard to reduce them. But there are these costs that are quite significant, right? Shipping individual items to customers is much more expensive than shipping, right, in bulk to retail stores, where you can have a large truck, right, and deliver a very large number of units at a much lower cost per unit. Also, while you don't have to create the physical stores when you have e-commerce model, well, you need to invest in creating an electronic store, and you have to really create it very very well. It has to be very reliable, and it has to provide great experience for customers, so customers want to use it. And it's also interesting to see that the diminishing returns from location pooling can be observed on an e-commerce model. So, for example, when Amazon.com started, they had one distribution center in the US, but now they operate several of them. Why? Because some products that move faster it's better to store them in multiple locations closer to customers. That reduces those transportation shipping costs to customers, right? Without impacting significantly the inventory investment. Anyway, Amazon.com needs to keep a lot of those units so they can as well keep them in multiple locations, right? So it's better for them to balance the costs. Some faster moving items they keep in several locations, right? Whereas items that are moving very slowly, they might keep in fewer locations or even just one location, because then the reduction in inventory is justifying that and it's outweighing the increased transportation costs from the warehouse to the customer.